New official figures have revealed that 1 in 5 NHS staff in England are non-UK nationals, marking the highest proportion on record. According to recent analysis of NHS Digital, 214 different foreign nationalities make up the health service, with more than 3 in 10 nurses and more than a third of doctors now non-UK residents. The latest numbers show a significant rise in overseas staff, which have climbed from 12% in 2009 to more than 20% last year. The most common non-UK nationality is Indian, accounting for 10% of all full-time nurses and health visitors and 8% of doctors, while almost 5% of doctors are from Pakistan and 3% are from Egypt. Healthcare chiefs said that the figures reflect how much the NHS relies on the international workforce, but warned that overseas recruitment wouldn't fill the vacancies forever. There are currently 120,000 jobs sitting empty across NHS England. Well, when are we going to invest in our own workforce? There are some brilliant, excellent, amazing, lovely foreign nurses and doctors. Of course there are. We're all extremely grateful to them, and we've all been served by them. But I think that we genuinely need to start training up British workers, I hate to sound like Gordon Brown, British workers for a British health service.
Well, what if they leave?
We've got many, many young people sitting on benefits. We've got many young people who don't feel they have any future, any motivation, any career path. So we need to train them up. But of course, what this all takes, and we've known this for decades, what this all takes is some political nous, some political long-term planning and thinking, and that in this country is lacking.
What if they leave? Because that's what we're seeing. We're not training enough doctors and nurses. Yes, I concede that point. But many of them are leaving to the US or Australia or to Singapore because we are in a global competition for medical and healthcare staff. And quite frankly, there's some countries that are more attractive. I actually don't have a problem with this. I don't have, if all the immigration that we saw were talented medical and healthcare professionals and other highly skilled people, I don't have a problem. The problem comes when 40% of the ridiculous immigration figures we're seeing are dependents, wives and children that are relying on our health service, on transport, on education. They're taking more from the system than putting back in. That's the bigger conversation.
So
health is just one of them.
Yeah, but Esther, that's about immigration. What I'm talking about
that's the point, though.
No, what I'm talking about is investing in British workers to actually work in
what,
our NHS.
If Bob in Arbroath is sit at home picking his toenails and eating Doritos all day long, he's not going to go, I've had enough of this lifestyle, I think I'll become a brain surgeon.
Go to 10 years of medical
So we cannot incentivise any of our young people, aged 16, 17,
we should
sitting
be able
at home.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily. I think the whole job.
We can't invest in them.
The job in our health service
nurses and doctors in their 20s or 30s. We can't do that.
No, I think we can. But
enough.
I think the job of working in the NHS has changed. The attraction to the job has clearly changed.
It's a job for life.
Agreed,
it's decent pay, and it's a job for life.
It's really not a
decent pensions.
But we've got a range of issues. And first of all, I think you're right that we have not necessarily... We have imported workers because they are cheaper. Yep. We have exported our problem to those nations who have trained those workers who come here for the better money. In the same way that we have trained people within the NHS over years, and then they've gone to Australia or New Zealand or America or wherever else they've gone because they pay more. We're going to have a really grown-up conversation about pay. We're going to have a grown-up conversation about an NHS that seems to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We're going to have a grown-up conversation about us, how we use our NHS, and also how we pay for it. And until or unless we're prepared to have those conversations, and free at the point of use is all very well, but I think we're going to have some rules around that in order to make sure that we have the health service that's fit for purpose. Otherwise, we're just going to have, a third-world health service for a third-world country that's covered in potholes.
Yeah, and one of the grown-up conversations is the fact that Emma's absolutely right. We do need more doctors, homegrown doctors and homegrown nurses. And we're not talking about Bob from Arbroath who's picking his toenails and eating Doritos, because actually there is plenty of competition for people who want to get on degree courses to study medicine and can't get on them because there aren't enough of them. That is one of the problems. We need more places, more universities, more tutors, more. And actually,
they get racked and stacked with debt.
The numbers will reduce, and then they get so much debt that they decide not to continue in medicine or not continue with that degree. But this is going to take 20 years because you've got to start now building up those places, and then these kids will take seven years to get trained. So this is a huge long-term problem.